Okay, well, welcome back to another must-haul fishing film. As you can see, clearly it's not a fishing film today. It's a video I've wanted to do actually, and that's a video, a safety video actually, about PLB'S, personal locator beacons. I'm going to run through what they are, how they work, why I think everyone on the water should own one, and if you do decide to get one, how to basically register it and what you need to do. So they're the things that you should learn over the next sort of 10 minutes as I talk about them. So what is a PLB, a personal locator beacon? Well, it is a device that you can use to alert search and rescue teams anywhere in the world to pretty much your exact location on a click of a button. Yep, one button. They're a great bit of kit for people on the water especially, so I'm going to be talking about that. Obviously you can use these PLBs anywhere in the world, whether it be on land, in an aircraft, but today we're going to be talking about them in a boating, on the sea environment. So how does a PLB work? Well, this particular one, which is a fast find, all you'd do is you'd pull that red little tab up, you'd pull it out, that unravels the aerial, and you'd click one button, which then emits an emergency signal to a satellite in the sky on 406 megahertz. When that emergency signal from this device is detected by the satellites, which is almost instant, that emergency signal will go down to the search and rescue authorities on the ground, and it will basically send out a search and rescue team to your pretty much exact location very quickly. All that will happen within about 3 to 5 minutes. Obviously the launch of a search and rescue might take a bit longer, but they will know about your mayday call, if you like, your alert signal within minutes. So you might ask yourself, well, I've got a VHF radio with digital selective calling. I can just click that as a distress signal and that does pretty similar. Well, it does and it doesn't. So digital selective calling on a radio, when you click that distress button, uses VHF, that uses line of sight. Now, if you're in an area in a black spot, it isn't going to work. A PLB will work literally anywhere you can see that sky. A PLB is going to work, so it's slightly better in that respect. You know, I think they're worth their weight in gold because they will literally get someone to you without even having to do a mayday call. And obviously, VHF radios are pretty reliable. However, if you've got a portable one on you at all times, that's great. If you fall in the water, you can use that digital selective calling distress alert button, or you can put out a voice mayday call. However, most people, most anglers I see, most people using on boats, don't carry their portable VHF marine radio around with them all the time. So at sea, if you fall overboard, for example, and you're going away from your boat, there's no chance that you're going to be able to get back to your boat. But you've got one of these attached to your life jacket, you've still got a way of getting search and rescue team to come and save you. Haven't got one of these and your radio's on the boat, that radio is void. You can't, it's pointless. You're drifting away from your boat and you've got no way of communicating. So having that attached to your life vest, and it's pretty small, it's quite nifty, or you can have it on a belt buckle or something. Having one of them at all times when you're on the water is just a fantastic back of the mind. You know that you've got something to get a search and rescue team out in a mayday situation. Now, PLBs are quite expensive. You'll be looking at paying between £300 and £400 for a personal locator beacon. And the batteries, generally speaking, will only last sort of between 6 to 8 years. 8 years being quite rare. I think only one make lasts that long, so mostly 6 years. So every 6 years you've got to get the battery in the unit professionally replaced. So they are expensive. They are expensive bits of kit. But there is a saying in the sort of boating world, the sea doesn't like poor people. And what that translates to, really, it's not about whether you're poor or you're rich. It's about saying that if you haven't bought the correct bits of kit and you haven't got the best you can have, you might find yourself in a worse situation, which you wouldn't have been in if you'd had the right kit, and the right kit being one of these. So super simple to use. You just pull it off, use one button, and you've got someone coming to you. You do need to register these. In the UK, it's the UK Beaconry office, so you do that on the government website. It takes about 10 minutes. I've literally just done this form for this one. You just put in some merchant contact details, you put in the hex ID number, which is on the back there, your vessel's details, all those sort of bits and bobs, so that when you click that emergency button, if you ever have to, the RNLI, the Coast Guard have got a little bit of information about who you are, your emergency contact details, so they might ring them and say, look, is he at home, is he out, where has he gone? It's a good bit of information that they've got then to start helping you get back to land safely. Also, with these, they need to be put on your ship radio license or your portable ship radio license. Now, this PLB for me will end up coming on my polycraft boat, it'll come on my kayak, it will come on boats, friends' boats, it will come on charter boats that I go on. So this PLB I've registered on my portable ship's radio license. Now, radio licenses are free to get on Ofcom. Everyone who has a radio, VHF radio, or a PLB or an EPIRB, that all needs to be registered on there. You don't need an operator's license to use one of these, but it is pretty much essential that you register them correctly, just because it just hopefully will help you get help quicker should you need it. When buying one of these, it's crucial that you get one which transmits on 2 frequencies. So when you do click that activation button, which sends that emergency alert signal on the 406 megahertz frequency, that it also sends out a homing signal, they call it, on 121.5 megahertz. Now, you don't have to remember these numbers, they're irrelevant, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that when you buy one, that you get a PLB giving out both frequencies. Now, the reason for that, obviously 406 is obvious. That needs to hit the satellite and go to ground control to tell you, to tell the ground operators that there's someone out there who needs to be rescued immediately. It's a mayday situation, and here's the GPS. Here's where they are, position. But the 121.5 frequency, which sends out on this device, the lifeboats and the search and rescue helicopters have got equipment on board that they can home in on that signal, and they can basically work out where you are in a smaller radius to that 406 megahertz signal. So obviously, if you're going out solo, I would say a PLB is more crucial than if you're multi-crewed. Obviously, if you're multi-crewed, there's hopefully, if you do go overboard, or you end up in a situation where you need to be rescued quickly, that other crewmate can hopefully facilitate that rescue and they can make that mayday call for you. But if you're solo, that's not going to be able to happen. So if you do venture out solo, whether you're on a kayak or a yacht or a fishing boat, then one of these is even more important than they would be before. As I say, I take mine out all the time, even if it's multi-crew, I still take one of these out, because if anything happens to the boat and all the crew are in danger, then I am able to activate that. Hopefully all the crew can stay together by linking arms, and then we've got a search and rescue team on their way to hopefully come and save us quickly. This isn't a sponsored video. I've had to buy this, but it's a video that I wanted to do to explain the importance of having a personal locator beacon on you when you're out on your own, or even when you're crewed on the water. That saying I said earlier, the sea doesn't like poor people. If I fall in and my life is in grave or imminent danger, am I going to quabble over spending £350? No, I'm not. I'm going to wish I'd spent that money and wish I'd had one. So I take that out. Confidence is in the mind that if I need it, it's there. I would like to see more people, and this is including myself, I don't always do this, have a VHF portable radio on them as well at all times on their life jacket or just on their person, so that if they do fall in, they can do a mayday call on a VHF radio first, and then failing that, they can use this. This can only really be used, or should only be used, should I say, when all other communications have failed. So if you've not got a VHF radio, use this. But if you have got a VHF radio and you find yourself in an emergency mayday situation, obviously use the radio first. But these are great if for some reason your equipment, so your VHF radios may be broken, maybe the boat's taking on lots of water, the batteries are now dead, so the VHF radio doesn't work, or the fixed unit, and maybe the portable ones don't work, or you've not serviced them properly, then you've still got one of these. If you've got any questions on PLBs, or how to register them, where to buy them, what ones you should buy, please leave a message or a comment, or contact us on any of the other social pages, and I'll help you out. But hopefully that's a video to convince you to get one, to explain how they work, who can have one, which is anybody, and yeah, just the importance really of having a PLB on you at all times when out at sea.